In the shadows of a post-Eden world, where the land lies barren and human hearts brim with doubt, a woman walks quietly yet unyielding. The wife of Cain, the first woman beyond Eve, remains unnamed in the Bible, but her silence does not render her invisible. Her untold story is a journey of faith, courage, and redemption. Can someone living beside the first cursed man of humanity ever find light? Or will she forever be engulfed in the darkness of sin? Today we open the door to that forgotten world, a place where every choice is a spiritual trial and every step a prayer. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel as we uncover the extraordinary women of the Bible, those who lived, fought, and believed. The desert stretches to the horizon, an endless tapestry of sand, parched and scorching, like the forgotten souls lost to history. No tree offers shade, no stream murmurs softly. Only the wind weaves through the dunes, whispering judgments, harsh and piercing. This land seems forsaken, as if God turned away after Eden. Yet in this brutal place, a woman carves her story with faith and silence. Ayala, her name is absent from the Bible, but with each heavy step through the burning sand, she etches it onto the forgotten pages of time. She is the wife of Cain, the first murderer, marked by God to be spared from death but shunned by all. To the world, Cain is shame, a symbol of darkness and rebellion. But in Ayala's quiet gaze, he is a husband bearing a burden no one comprehends. And she, neither out of fear nor duty, chooses to stay by his side. They live apart from others, in a barren patch where tattered tents rise from the hands of the outcast. No one approaches, no one inquires. Each time Ayala ventures out for water or firewood, she feels eyes like sharp blades grazing her skin. Whispers trail behind her, half scorn, half fear. That's Cain's wife. Is that murderer still alive? And that woman, how can she bear to live with him? Ayala hears it all but offers no reply. She needs no defense. To her, truth lies not in the mouths of judges, but in the stillness of kneeling at night, hands clasped, prayers falling like dust, soaking into the cracked earth. Some nights she gazes at the sky where countless stars flicker, like God's watchful eyes. She doesn't beg for miracles, only for a sign that his silence isn't abandonment. Then one night, as the desert wind howls fiercer than usual, she dreams of a sacred flame blazing in the heavens, not consuming, not wrathful, but glowing gently, like a hand sended from above. In its light, she stands firm amid a sandstorm, her hands cradling her womb where new life stirs. The dream doesn't frighten her. It ignites a strange feeling, both peaceful and urgent. She doesn't grasp its full meaning, but trusts it's a sign. Her life, Cain's, and their unborn child's are not beyond the Creator's plan. But peace is fleeting. One afternoon, as the sun sinks, blood red behind the dunes, strangers appear. They offer no greeting, no negotiation. Their eyes burn with anger, their first words a verdict. Cain must pay. Ayala stands before them, unveiled, unyielding. These men, cloaked in righteousness, speak of justice and fairness, but their gazes mirror those who once stoned an adulteress, swift, cruel, and deaf to reason. They don't just want Cain's blood. They see Ayala as complicit. In their eyes, she's guilty, not for what she's done, but for choosing to stand by a man the world despises. Yet Ayala, frail in frame but carrying life within, feels no fear. She has nothing but faith, no weapons, no allies, no hope of forgiveness. But she has God, and she has love, not blind, but forged in the desert of doubt, tempered by the darkness of curses, and illuminated by the fragile light of a holy dream. She stands tall, facing the wind where a storm brews. Sand clings to her skin like unanswered questions. Can she save Cain? Will her child have a chance to be born into this world? Is the justice they claim truly from God, or merely human vengeance? And then, Ayala chooses to fight, not with swords, but with prayers. Not to win, but to prove one truth. God's grace isn't a reward for the perfect, but a gift for those who dare to believe, even when the world stands against them. Thus begins her journey, quiet but radiant, drawing us into the heart of a woman seemingly forgotten, yet a living emblem of faith, courage, and unconditional love in a world starved of forgiveness. The desert winds howl, carrying grains of sand like indelible scars of the past. But the fiercest storm brews not in the sky, but in human hearts. The so-called seekers of justice crave not truth, but a blood-soaked verdict. To them, Cain is sin incarnate, and Ayala, the woman at his side, his silent accomplice, shielding his wrongs. They know nothing of the nights Cain weeps in secret, nor hear Ayala's soothing whispers as her husband wrestles with remorse. All they hunger for is the anguished cry of punishment. Ayala sees the stranger's shadows from afar, like grim spirits rising from the grave. Each step they take closer brings tears that fall to the sand. She expects no human mercy, for they see only guilt, not grace. Her only refuge is good. The God, the one who once shielded Cain in his aimless wandering. Many nights she kneels before a makeshift altar in the desert, pouring her heart into quiet prayers. For strength, for Cain's redemption, for the safety of the child growing within her. One night under the frail glow of a crescent moon, Ayala hears unfamiliar footsteps outside their tent. Weaponless, voiceless, she kneels. In the desert stillness, she senses God's breath. In a fleeting dream, she sees a river red as blood, flowing through the parched land, washing away sin and hatred. It brings not terror, but a promise of cleansing. Wakening with a shiver, her heart races, yet a resolve rises within. If death comes, she will meet it with faith, not despair. At dawn, the calm sky shatters with a column of black smoke. A nearby tent burns, flames devouring any hope of refuge. Children's cries, screams of anguish, and the choking beat of her own heart fill the air. Ayala runs out, clutching a tattered piece of tent cloth, her eyes darting through the haze. Amid the smoke, the stranger's leader emerges, gaunt, eyes cold as ice, a sneer curling his lips. God cursed Cain, he snarls, and now it's your turn. But Ayala does not crumble. She has knelt under moonlight, begging for light, and now, facing the blade of human justice, she stands unwavering. Her face serene, her voice gentle yet resolute, she speaks. I trust the one who marked Cain for protection. I believe he still watches our every step. Under the blazing sun, her words ring like an unforgettable hymn. Yet none retreat. Their hearts, locked in hatred, remain unmoved. Armed with spears and swords, the men advance, ready to make Ayala and Cain an example, a warning to any who dare defy human justice. But in that chaotic moment, the air seems to freeze. Sand drifts softly, the desert wind shifts, carrying an uncanny coolness. Ayala glances around, catching the eyes of onlookers, some stunned, some hesitant. They begin to see that in this harsh desert, only Ayala and Cain face true trials, while they merely come to punish without understanding why. She raises her hand to the sky, where sunlight flares, then fades, and speaks into the silence. Justice is not human wrath, but the love and forgiveness of the Most High. Her words pierce like arrows into the hearts of those once thirsting for blood. An older woman in the crowd, long silent, steps forward, her voice trembling. But what if we're wrong? Her question echoes across the vast expanse, sparking doubtful glances. The leader looks down, his mouth parting, then snaps, "Justice must be done." He lifts his head higher, ordering the advance. Spears rise, swords strike the ground, and Ayala knows the moment has come. No young hero rushes to save them. No miracle appears from the heavens. Only she stands amidst human weapons, with an unborn child in her womb. Her heart pounds, blood surges, but her soul stands firm as stone. She closes her eyes, whispering a soft prayer. "Grant me strength." In less than a heartbeat, the sky turns. A thunderclap shakes the desert. Dark clouds gather, blotting out the sun. Then, rain. The first heavy, cool drops hit the sand, striking Ayala's skin like a blessing. A deluge follows, dousing flames, burying spears in mud. The bloodthirsty men stagger, retreat, then flee in panic. Ayala opens her eyes, feeling each raindrop on her cheeks. Amid the downpour, a voice echoes in her soul. "I have seen your faithfulness." No longer a fleeting whisper, it is clear, as if he stands beside her. Ayala cannot smile, only closes her eyes, feeling grace pour over her. When the rain slows, the desert is transformed. Water carves channels, carrying seeds into cracked earth. Tender grass sprouts, a testament that life prevails. Ayala and Cain stand together hand in hand, amid the changed landscape. No words pass between them. Their eyes say all. The crowd stands still, disbelieving, unable to grasp what has happened, yet knowing something beyond human power has touched them. From the heart of that fierce conflict, a seed of faith takes root, a belief that true justice lies not in the sword, but in love, forgiveness, and the grace of the Most High. Ayala has not only protected her family, but unveiled a truth for all. Even when the world condemns, hope endures for those who dare to believe. Ayala doesn't wait for miracles from heaven, for she knows faith isn't sitting idle, but rising to act. Before dawn's first light, she slips from the tent, seeking the eldest woman among the accusers. This woman once saw Abel's anguish firsthand, Cain's gentle younger brother, her eyes still holding tears of unhealed pain. Ayala finds her by a dry stream bed where only faint glimmers of water linger in cracked stone. In their quiet talk, the woman speaks tenderly of Abel, of jealousy born from envy, and of truths no one dares voice. That Abel too had faltered but was forgiven, while Cain, her beloved brother, bears his sins' weight forever. From her words, Ayala sees that truth isn't the black and white judgment humans impose. Some secrets live only in hearts. Some lives defy a single verdict. If she doesn't speak, who will tell this complex tale? Who will show those ready to cast stones that Cain, though guilty, deserves fairness? With this, Ayala returns to the tent where Cain sits, back turned, shoulders trembling under dusty cloth. She offers a faint smile, then steps out, her eyes blazing with resolve. That afternoon, instead of hiding in shadows, Ayala chooses to hold a public prayer in the barren desert, where God was thought to have turned away. She picks an open patch of sand, unblocked, forcing all to pause and face the flickering fire she lights in the clearing. As the flames rise, their warm golden glow banishes the darkness of doubt. Ayala burns dry grass, sending smoke skyward like an invitation. Slowly the hateful, those who screamed for Cain's punishment, in the curious approach, their steps cautious. No one speaks, only the wind hisses through sand and the fire crackles. When the crowd encircles the flames, their eyes fixed on her, Ayala speaks. Her voice isn't sharp or pleading, but soft as morning's breath. Cain is not wholly innocent, she says, each word falling gently among them. But God did not destroy him. When he placed a mark to protect Cain, he showed that his justice isn't vengeance, but love and a chance for redemption. Who are we to judge in his place? Her words ripple through the silent expanse. The air grows still. The fire's crackle seems louder. The wind falls silent, leaving only the heavy breaths of those leaning in to listen. As she finishes, a strange light flickers on the distant horizon, not bold like the sun, but gentle, like the sacred flame of her past dream. Some bow their heads, whispering their awe. Isn't that the sign Ayala saw? A voice murmurs. But the leader of the justice seekers stands firm, his face stone cold. You can't deceive me. Justice demands blood. At the height of tension, Ayala remains unshaken. She lifts her garment, revealing pinkened hands and faint scars, marks of sleepless nights tending Cain, and says softly, "Follow me to where Cain knelt in exile." The crowd falls silent, spears still aimed at her, but none block her path. They follow over shifting dunes, past jagged rocks like the burdens of sin. At last they reach a great stone, where Cain once collapsed in despair, where his first tears wet the sand. Ayala kneels, hands clasped, eyes lifted to the sky. Here Cain sought God, she whispers, with remorse flowing like blood, but also where he received the mark, not to hide, but to protect. She doesn't beg for life, only for truth to shine. Suddenly the desert wind surges, whipping sand and dust into a hazy veil. Grains swirl wildly, yet leave the steadfast stone untouched. White sand gleams in the afternoon light, then settles into golden dunes, proof that faith endures despite hatred. The crowd seems to hold its breath, witnessing a miracle not of swords or fire, but from this small woman's heart. One man, who once roared for blood, bends low, hand on his chest. His eyes glisten, his voice choked. I was wrong. Then another and another step back from their cries for justice, joining Ayala and Cain. They laid down their weapons in the sand. No one dares dream of execution now. In the quiet desert, only the wind, the falling sand, and relieved sighs remain. Ayala rises, steps to Cain, and grips his hand tightly. He turns, eyes red, gazing at her with profound gratitude. The child in her womb stirs gently, as if praising answered prayers. The community, once filled with hate, now stands as witnesses to grace and forgiveness. The miracle isn't a thunderbolt, but the moment humans choose to listen, to believe in goodness beyond sin. Ayala hasn't just saved her husband, she's saved a community from the cycle of hatred and vengeance. With faith, love, and wisdom, she's turned a confrontation into a chance to sow hope. And from then on, whenever someone passes that sacred stone, the desert's evening light glows on its rugged surface, recalling a story unwritten in books. The tale of a woman who stood in a harsh desert to proclaim that grace never runs dry, and that a heart, when open, will find its way back to love and forgiveness. Beneath the desert sky, black as velvet, stars glimmer faintly, and Ayala steps from her tent, barefoot, her sun-darkened feet dusted with sand. The vast expanse before her is a canvas of cold wilderness, pierced only by the wind's hiss through sandy crevices, swirling tiny grains into invisible spirals. Where she stands, the fragile tent seems a lonely child in this harsh land, encircled by the suffocating presence of the justice seekers. Soldiers form a ring, gripping spears, their eyes icy as winter frost. Their gaunt leader, his gaze dripping with disdain, raises a torch, its red flames casting shadows on his weathered face. With the wind, his shout echoes, "If God truly protects Cain, let him prove it now." In that moment, silence engulfs all. No one cries out, no one stirs. Every eye fixes on Ayala, the slender, solitary woman poised before a trial of fate. She doesn't flinch or tremble. In the torch's flickering glow, her face sharpens, brows slightly furrowed, lips pressed tight, eyes deep as still waters, brimming with faith. She knows this is the pinnacle of destiny. No angel descends, no miracle falls from the heavens. Only her faith and courage pulse within her heart. With measured steps, Ayala kneels on the fine sand. The torch's blaze behind her scatters glints of light into the night. The sand beneath is icy, but its chill cannot touch the warmth of her believing soul. She doesn't shout or beg for life. She closes her eyes, lifts her small face to the sky, and offers a silent prayer. "Lord, if you are with me, show your mercy." Her prayer, though soft, is a seed sown in barren earth, awaiting its bloom. The air grows eerily still, as if heaven and earth hold their breath. The soldiers and their leaders stand frozen, mouths agape, throats tight. A sacred presence envelops all. The black sky quakes, then a thunderclap roars, like a divine drum awakening the world. Lightning tears the night, a portal to a hidden realm. Then the first drop falls, not cold dew, but warm, heavy rain, soaking the golden sand. A deluge follows, sweeping away dust, carving rivulets across the earth. Amid the sudden storm, the torch sputters out, leaving the soldiers reeling in darkness. The downpour douses the fire's embers, water seeping into cracks, floating charred fragments. The rain scatters the crowd into frantic clusters, their weapons slipping from grasp. Spears, bows, swords, once held firm, now sink into slick mud. Shouts of panic rise. Some flee, others stumble in the sodden earth. Ayala opens her eyes, tilting her face to savor each raindrop. Water streams over her swollen belly, her cheeks, her chest cradling life's warmth. Her heart hums with a gentle sound, a whisper within, I have seen your faithfulness. Clear, unadorned yet mighty, it fills her with comfort in unwavering trust. As the rain slows, the saturated earth reveals wet sand, speckled with tiny blades of wild grass piercing the mud. Thousands of footprints from the hateful crowd linger, etched in the dark. But the ring of weapons has dissolved, replaced by stunned, remorseful gazes. The rain, a cleansing force, has washed away hatred, bearing buried truth. Among the drenched, cloaked figures, the gaunt leader cowers, hands trembling, unsure what to clutch. In the chaos, his accusations against Cain and Ayala spill forth, faltering on parched lips. He envied Abel, resented his brother's smile, saw Abel receive undeserved love from the community, while Cain bore unjust blame. Jealousy, power, and ambition drove him to fabricate sins, to incite the mob. Now the raw truth, exposed by rain, erodes his web of lies. The crowd, bewildered, drops swords and spears, standing alone in the wet desert, bowing in shame. Cain, long burdened by infamy, turns slowly, stepping through the mud. His eyes, soft with gratitude, look not to men, but to the grace just revealed. He rests his hand on Ayala's belly, tenderly cradling their unborn child. The sight silences those who once screamed for vengeance, like the rain still trickling over sand. Each drop whispers, though sins may pile high, mercy can triumph. Ayala rises, shaking sand from her robe, graceful as a desert flower blooming after rain. She doesn't gloat or console the shaken crowd. She only offers a faint smile, a relieved breath, and meets Cain's eyes, alight with hope for a new beginning. This peace isn't victory over foes, but the quiet accord of hardened hearts softened. The once barren earth now glows with renewal. Sprouting grass rises, dawn's light breaks through clouds, painting a delicate rainbow across the desert sky. The air, cool, banishes days of stifling heat. Ayala and Cain return to their tent, steps steady, amid the wordless stillness of a crowd lost in reflection. The rain hasn't just cleansed dust, it has purged hatred, crafting a new scene of hope and forgiveness. From then on, Ayala's story, the nameless woman of the Bible, is no mere village tale, but a living testament that grace comes not through swords, but through faith and love. The desert, post-rain, doesn't just sprout green, it opens human hearts. God's justice, revealed in falling rain, transforms a family's fate and plants a seed of mercy in those who once attacked. It's said that whenever rain falls on the arid desert, it's God's whisper, reminding all that anyone can find light again, if they dare kneel and seek mercy. As the final rain ceases, dawn creeps through thinning clouds, casting a pale golden light across the barren desert. The earth, once cracked like deep wounds, now cradles tiny wildflowers, their fragile forms stretching resiliently through damp mud. These desert blooms, delicate yet fierce, testify to a promise of new life stirring. In this scene, Ayala, the woman once overshadowed by the darkness of sin, walks gently alongside Cain and their newborn child. Three souls once seemingly irreconcilable now stand together, hearts brimming with hope and gratitude. The desert, once a fortress of hatred and division, has become a witness to a miraculous rebirth. Those who once branded Ayala and Cain as cursed have turned away, leaving behind bowed heads and heartfelt confessions. They believe in the miracle of faith. They have learned to forgive. The tiny flowers blooming amid stone mirror these three revived souls, vibrant and teeming with life. Ayala cradles her child tightly, her eyes sparkling with joy. She seeks no praise, no validation from others. The child, a fruit of love, tested and nurtured in the harsh desert, sleeps peacefully, carrying hope for a brighter future. Cain stands beside her, his sun-weathered face now softened, free of the guilt that once consumed him. The man who tormented himself over past deeds breathes deeply, as if purging the bitter fragments clinging to his soul. He brushes Ayala's hair gently, gazes at their child, and offers a warm smile. In that moment, others draw near. Those who once doubted, hardened their hearts, and stood ready to kill for vengeance. Now they bow low, wordless, their remorseful eyes and brief nods offering Ayala a silent apology. Her story of faith, of perseverance through darkness, has touched them more than any defense could. Not swords, not spilled blood, but God's grace, grace for those who dare to rise, to love, and to forgive, has prevailed. This unrecorded tale from the Bible of the nameless woman beside Cain stands as living proof. No matter how heavy life's burdens, no matter how sin surrounds, the light of grace always endures. God doesn't withhold love from the weak. He grants grace to those who dare trust in the power of love and redemption. Grace isn't for the perfect, but for those who humble themselves, who pray in the dark, believing the night cannot extinguish the light. Now, each step Ayala, Cain, and their child take through the carpet of wildflowers testifies to their journey of restoration. Pain, doubt, accusations, all lie in the past, cleansed by the rain of divine mercy. The desert's red and purple blooms sway in the morning breeze, whispering a reminder. Life always finds a way to flourish, even when all seems lost. Amid this renewed landscape, Ayala pauses, her gaze touching the distant desert horizon. She smiles, not a fleeting grin, but the smile of one who has endured trials, who knows the greatest blessings often come unannounced. Quietly, she rests a hand on her belly, as if greeting the future, smiling upon her family. Cain nods slowly, his eyes filled with trust. He steps closer, wrapping his arms around Ayala and their child, shielding all he holds dear. Their heartbeats seem to pulse with the awakening desert, where wild grass sprouts, rain lingers on leaves, and the sun's warmth kisses the damp earth. Ayala's story ends not in defeat, but in a new beginning. Not with tragic finality, but with a door flung open to hope and redemption. It carries a powerful message for us all. You may bear the weight of your past, you may feel the world's rejection, but if you dare to believe, to love, and to stand firm through trials, you will find grace. Grace never runs dry. And if a lone woman in a barren desert could transform a community through faith, then you, in your daily life, amid work and complex relationships, can change the world around you with a small, faithful act, a heartfelt prayer, an act of forgiveness, a compassionate glance. All can sow seeds of hope, scattering grace into others' hearts. Thank you for immersing yourself in Ayala's untold story. If this video touched your heart, please subscribe to the channel to catch more wondrous tales. Share it with friends in the US to spread hope, and leave a comment about what moved you. Each share, each comment is a seed of hope sown into the world. See you next week as we embark on another journey into the life of a remarkable woman from the Bible, A new story, a new light, and a new message for your soul.